say this, because someone did mention this in a video I made recently, and they said, well, you and Vash were very negative about the Star Cruiser, so how can you say that, you just want and you don't want, when you're going into a Galactic Star Cruiser review, that you don't want negativity for the sake of negativity, when me and Vash were very negative as to what we were seeing coming out of the Star Cruiser. And I think this person, respectfully, no disrespect to them at all, but I think they missed the point of the video. The video's point was not that you can't not like something. It's okay to not like something. Every creator has a right to like or dislike something. That's not the point. Me and Dre, though, were being fair in regards to our critiques and giving reasons as to why we didn't like it. What I'm referring to are brands and creators that use negativity as a grift and just hate it all because it's good for their brand and good for their AdSense. That's the difference. Negativity for the sake of negativity because it sells. That's the difference. Not liking something is completely valid if that's how you genuinely feel.
And I do have to mention, and I completely agree with you, OG, and who actually does it really well. A quick shout out to Mr. Pete Werner from the Diz Unplugged. I have tremendous respect for him, of how, he and his crew run everything. They work tirelessly. I actually have a few mutual friends that go in between the Diz Unplugged family. And the one thing that Pete had mentioned before was, and this was very smart of him, especially because he runs his own business, his traveling business on top with the Diz Unplugged, is that he says, we will not review anything unless it comes out of our own pockets. And I think that is a tremendous outlook of how you can notice something where you can report on something, but you cannot give your own personal opinion only unless it is coming out of their own pocket, where if they're covering something through a media event or Disney invites them, they will report it. When Craig even went to the Galactic Star Cruiser, it was a media event. He reported it, but he did not give his opinion on it.
And you know what, George, I want to echo your sentiments as well. I really respect Pete from the Diz a lot. One example was when all the shows were coming out, Harmonious and all that, right? And there was a lot of negative buzz in the community about those shows. A lot of fans and content creators did not like those new 50th shows. They still don't. And Pete came out. And he made a video defending these shows and kind of calling the community out for being too negative and this, that, and the other. But the reason why I respect Pete for that is because it would have been easier as a content creator just to go with the flow. If everyone hates it, there's more views. It's more lucrative to go with that rage and garner the views from hating on something that everyone doesn't like. But he didn't do that. He took the unpopular approach, which is to actually say he liked Harmonious and Enchantment. He actually liked these shows. And he knew probably in the back of his mind, I'm probably going to get ratioed for saying this. But that's how he genuinely felt. So he said it. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. The difference between positivity for the sake of positivity and negative for the sake of negativity. Pete is the opposite of that. Pete didn't do it just because he knew it was going to be popular. He said what he said because he really felt that way. And I honestly respect the hell out of that. Good for him.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's, to your point, George, about the review and Pete Warner, which is, he's awesome. I mean, I do love his rants. I do, but more than his rants, I do appreciate his honesty. I do appreciate his objectivity when it comes to these kind of things. And the way he has maintained it over the years, or at least has attempted to, is through that policy of, hey, we're not going to review something unless we actually pay for it, right? There's some old school journalists back in the 60s kind of thing where they wouldn't accept anything from anybody because it was like, I can't keep my objectivity if I'm going to review this, right? If I get a handout, or even if I take a puff pastry at some media event, like, it's like I can't do it. I had to keep my biases and my subjectivity underneath my objectivity if I'm going to review something properly as a critic or whatever. So I mean, it's that hardline stance which kind of increases their reputation a lot. It's interesting on that video, OG. I saw that comment too. Like, hey, you were negative on that, and look, we were harsh, yes, nitpicky, maybe, but we were only going by what they were actually putting out about the Star Cruiser, right? We didn't have much to go on, and even Disney themselves contend that their commercials and ads weren't the best because they deleted them, they got rid of them. Even they would concede, yeah, it wasn't the best showing, and we were just simply going by what we were being fed, what we were being allowed to see, so to speak. We hadn't seen any video taken from anybody else, and that's why we reacted in that way. And if that's your showing, well, that's just not good enough. In the case, I believe they were talking about the kind of the, I don't know, social media photo that went around of inside the cafeteria there, and we'll get to that discussion in another video. Don't even worry about that, guys. But they were, that was one of the only images that we had seen, and we were basing our opinion off that. And honestly, it just wasn't a good showing. Now, we have a lot of great things to say about the Star Cruiser. Trust me, you want to go down there, like and subscribe, because that's going to be a great video. We have a lot of good stuff to say, but at the time, there wasn't much good to say about it. And that's what we were basing our reactions on. We're not shills, we're not grifters. We're going to tell you how it is. And I think that's what sets OG55 apart.
Right. Well, exactly. And it's easy for it would be as a content creator in this space, it would be so much easier for me just to bash JPEG every single video. Yep. That's the popular thing. And I would get, round of applause. Yeah, fuck JPEG, Yep. But I don't want to do that because I don't really feel that way. Like I really want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that he's 100% bad, and I don't think he's 100% good. I want to have a real honest look at the situation. Yeah. So yeah, that comment kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way because it was like kind of accusing us of being negative for the sake of negative with the Star Cruiser, but that's not who we are. We were negative in that video because what we saw was just not good. Now, our opinion has changed after watching Ordinary Adventures and their tour and things like that. My opinion's changed a whole lot, Yeah. And now I can tell you there's a lot more positive that I've seen, and my view has changed for the positive for the Star Cruiser. But at the time, the images and the stuff that we were given were not good. And I'm not going to lie to my audience and say, yeah, it was fantastic, because it wasn't, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I think that's what our viewers appreciate. They appreciate the honesty.
It basically comes down, if it's good, we'll say it's good. If it's not so good, we're not going to mince our words about it. And I'm going to save a lot of this for when we do talk about our discussion with the Galactic Star Cruiser, but I'll just say this part. I kind of take the Galactic Star Cruiser honestly like Chapek himself. There's parts of it that are very good, and there's parts of it that aren't so good. And, and as I said, I'm just going to leave it at that because we'll have a lot to discuss for that video. But yeah, it basically just comes down to the fact that on this channel with the three of us or anyone who is partaking in this channel, we say our minds, we say it respectfully, but we tell the truth.